Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another episode of Adventures in Careerland. I'm your host, Adriano Magnifico. I'm the career facilitator in the Louis Riel School Division, and we're broadcasting from the Arts and Technology Center, the Broadcast Media Program, which is one of the 13 gems in this program. I talk about them all the time. It's this place where students get this extra special level of training and skill development in applied arts and technologies. This is a really cool program, the Broadcast Media Program. They make all kinds of podcasts. And I am super happy and always ably joined by these two student producers, Akira Sakaki. Akira, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
All right. And I just pulled you out of a session. They're planning some work. We'll ask about that in a second. And Zoe Kruzik, how are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, tell us what's going on in the Broadcast Media Program. You guys are streaming. Here's what I want to ask you in the end. Let me ask you, rather than the generic question, let me ask you a more specific question. We know in Louis Riel School Division that the sporting events go on in the building, so teams can play teams, but they all have to be vaxxed and they have to go through those protocols and all those kinds of things. And you do a major service to the division and to parents in general because you guys are streaming these games from the gym so parents can watch them in the comfort of their homes or from their phones. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. So basically, yeah, as you said, any school in our school division, the Louis Riel School Division, that is a high school and is playing currently volleyball, we have people stationed from our classrooms broadcasting their volleyball games every night. So yeah, well, our day doesn't end actually till late. Like I was at Windsor Park last night till 10.
The Windsor Park Collegiate.
Yeah, I was at Windsor Park Collegiate till 10.
Yeah, I was at a school one time and I didn't get home until like 11:30.
Yeah,
It
and
was
I'm
late.
back there.
Now,
Yeah.
talk about practical on hands. Like you guys are setting up what? Tell us what you're setting up at those schools and what great service you're providing. Like the service is obvious, right? Hey, we get this, not obvious, but we get to see it and we get to see it streamed and what a great way to see my kids. I can't go into the gym. What kind of effort does it take to set that up? And what do you have to do to set it up?
So basically, I guess like the basic setup would be a laptop and then running a software called vMix on it. That is the software that we mix the audio and like all the graphics, we put it all in, and then from there it goes to YouTube, plus the camera and our tripod. That's like the basic setup.
So when you go to each school, and you're doing this in all the schools,
Yeah.
and you're having to man, or I guess that's the wrong word, but person all these things.
Yeah.
To take care of all these things, right? You're having to do all that work. So that's kind of amazing, right?
Yeah.
And you're there very late. How do you feel about all that work you're doing and the training you're getting? How do you feel about it?
I enjoy it. Sometimes it does become a lot because it goes like I said, like it goes over a lot of time. Like we don't finish. Our school day finishes at 3:15, but our school work can go up till 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
So we could get home at 11. Like, for example, you pulled me out of the session today we were setting up. That's for our football setup for the provincials and finals and everything's going on. That's like a 6 computer, 5 camera,
Yeah.
huge, like 2-hour setup thing.
So you're kind of a mini TSN.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like,
For sure.
Yeah.
We're
I love it.
definitely that good.
So you guys, and that's the beauty of the program. The reason I bring this up is what I like about the Arts and Technology Center is, and in other institutions like it that offer applied training, is you do it. It's hands-on. You're doing some theory in book, but the real majority of your work is done hands-on, creating, putting it together, trying it out, and having real audiences. Is that fair to say?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's probably the best
Yeah.
thing about it because I've learned really quickly that, like, I'm a hands-on learner. I prefer to learn things and just do them immediately rather than learn something and never actually use it. So that's probably the best thing that's come out of the program, that's hands-on.
And of course, Akira has told us if he could, he'd redo the education
Oh yeah, I say it. I
system,
probably
right?
mention it at least once every podcast.
That's right. The education system sucks. This is how I do it. Anyway, I'm super glad. It's my privilege to have you both all the time working with me, and you give extra discretionary time to work with me. And of course, we have to applaud the great professor or teacher that you work with, Mr. P, Mr. Plaint Ink, right? Who really sets this up and is a pro in the industry on his own, and who has incredible experience in the industry. So you're really lucky to have a mentor like that working with you. Agree?
For sure.
Yeah.
What does he bring to the table for you guys that you always understand? When you have to interact with Mr. P, what do you know you have to deliver for him?
I would say experience. He has a lot of experience.
No, what do you have to deliver?
Oh, what do we have to?
What do you have to make sure when you're working with him? What do you know? What do you have to bring to the table?
Professionalism for sure. Like, we
Okay.
have to be on the ball with when we're working with Mr. P.
Yeah.
He expects us to be like there and ready whenever he says to do something. We got to do it immediately, and it has to get done well.
Yeah.
So you got to be really alert.
So how does that hone you? Does that make you a better person? Does that make you stronger? Zoe, what do you think?
I think it makes us stronger because it makes us, I guess, think harder, trying to figure out problems or things that go wrong, maybe.
Right
Like,
on.
just
Try
to figure it
prepare
out.
for the
Well, you nailed that,
There we
Zoe.
go.
There's so much problem solving in this program
Yeah, there we go.
that you have to work on and bring to the table all the time, because it's technology. Does technology ever go wrong? I don't know.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, literally
Yes.
yesterday. So we had people. Pretty much everyone had games last night
Yeah.
from our classes. So we had people at Dakota.
That's me. That was me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can talk about
Yeah.
it. Yeah, go for it.
What happened?
So the internet, halfway through the first volleyball game, it stopped working. So YouTube wasn't getting enough video from our program to keep the stream going like smoothly. And it turns out the IT guys at the school were updating computers. So that was taking up all the bandwidth from the internet. So I called Mr. P, and then he had to call the IT guys, and they had to stop the updates so we could stream properly.
Like, the division decided that at 8 o'clock last night at Dakota, they would update every computer in the building. And that
Yeah.
takes up a lot of internet that we need to be able to stream
Yes.
fluently from our laptops onto YouTube.
But that's just your sense too of here's how this industry works. Here are the pieces we need. Here's the skills we need. Here's the technology we need. And you're making a call saying it must be something like this. It must be
Things
like
that go
this.
wrong all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we brought it up a lot of times because we use actually data when we're broadcasting football games. We're also using data. Mr. P was talking about how if you, for example, like go over 10 gigabytes of data, then your data gets slower.
Yes.
Like gets
Yeah.
100%. Like
Yes.
it gets awful, and then you're kind of in a jam. If you're mid game and your data's like that, it passes the 10 gigabytes. It gets awfully slow.
I was debating on using my data last night because I
Oh,
was just
really?
getting tired of the internet problems.
Would you
Okay.
hotspot that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You
would have.
hotspot
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. Hey, well, you know what? We will talk about this more, but this is a great program. I'm glad you're in it. We have a guest today, special guest. Very excited. I think this program is going to be a doozy, even though you started it off so well. How cool is all this information about the broadcast media program? I'm always amazed by what you do. Our guest today is Angelica de Jesus. How are you, Angelica?
I'm doing great. Hi, how are all of you?
Oh, thanks for coming in. Angelica, you know what? We got her out of bed this morning. How exciting was that?
Barely.
And we got her down to our studio. She's live with us. We're so excited. We're wearing our masks. We're all socially distancing. We're all doing the right things. I've bathed myself in the liquid down there. Have you noticed the liquid, how smelly that stuff is?
What liquid are you talking
Yeah.
about?
Like
The hand
the hand
sanitizer?
Oh, the hand
sanitizer. The
sanitizer.
liquid.
Yeah.
Like what liquid?
The liquid. Yeah, no, we have a shower. At the Arts and Tech Center, we take a shower as we come in. It's
Wow.
it's a little odd.
Disinfecting station.
Anyway, so we're all making sure we're always safe all the time. Angelica is a Glenlawn grad from 2019, but she's also a graduate of the hairstyling program. And she's done a lot of interesting things. So when you were in school, Glenlawn, 2019, are you thinking back now?
That was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. It's not that long ago. I like how you guys say it was a long time ago. Don't even ask me that stuff. I'm going to talk to you about 1992. That was a great year. Of course, you guys are going, oh my gosh. When you're thinking about your time at Glenlawn, what kind of student were you? Were you a hardworking student? Or did you participate in the activities? Tell us more about your high school life there. Do you recall?
Yeah, absolutely. I was a part of the music program. I was in choir for 4 years, and then in my last year, I was also a part of vocal jazz. And that gave me a really good opportunity. We were invited to go to Quebec for a jazz festival
Nice.
that year, and then I got to work with the WSO quite often when I was a child as well.
Oh, that's fantastic. So when you think back, so that was your major interest in high school, along with the academic programming, which is always solid at Glenlawn, was the music programming. So what did that do for you in terms of you as a person? Why were you into the music so much? When you left Glenlawn, did it make you stronger in some way, and how did it do that?
Music programs and like performing programs tend to be very people tend to be very aggressive. It's very
So
there's a lot of competition.
So was it WWF? You guys were. No one was in a figure four leg lock or anything, were they?
No.
Okay.
But yeah, there was a lot of competition, and it really set me up for like hairstyling, where there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of people going up against each other, and just like types of things like that.
I never even thought of life that way. So you guys are thinking that you're in a program at Glenlawn, a music program. There's competition in there for what? What are you who are you competing with, and for what?
Solos.
Oh, you want the solo? Oh, you want to be the star?
I've had 3 solos and 1 duet when I was with a music program with
that's
LRSD.
amazing. Okay, so so you're a singer.
Yes.
All right. So do you continue that? Do you sing in any choirs? Did you do any work like that after high school?
I was actually planning to go with this choir group that my old director used to. He still does. He still conducts with them, but because of COVID, I haven't been able to audition with them yet.
So COVID has really derailed a lot of plans for a lot of people. So it's derailed a little bit too. Do you want to get, as we get through this, and we will, I want you all to understand, we will. Sometimes it takes longer than we hope, but we're all very careful, which is all good. Are you hoping to reignite that part of your life?
Absolutely.
The musical parts?
Absolutely.
Like, do you want to perform in a rainbow stage, for example, a musical piece? Or you're just a singer? I don't mean just a singer, but that, you don't have the acting piece to it. Or
I was actually a performer for about 13 years. I did 8 years in dance and ballet.
Oh my gosh.
And then I did 3 years with Highbury's, what's it called? Musical theaters.
Yes,
They were running. And then I also did work with Folklorama. And then my piece with Glenlawn, and I also did makeup for Glenlawn for 1 year with their musical theater as well.
Hey, so you're immersed in this culture. You love this. You love singing. You love being on the stage in the spotlight. So then you graduate, but you don't join ATC till 2021.
2020.
So there's 2020. So there's a year hiatus there where we're going, what happened to Angelica? Where did she go? And when you see that on a resume, people ask, what happened? There's a gap in her resume. What happened? Tell us what happened in that year.
That gap was me trying to get into different schools. So I had two places that I wanted to go. It was either MITT or Red River, and then I saw ATC as an option as well, just because like my original plan was to go into data entry.
Data entry? You're a musical singer and you want to go into data entry? What even provoked that?
Just because like I had a really bad leg, and I'm like things like hairstyling just wasn't a thing.
Yes.
I was on a cane for essentially 6 months.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, and when I'd go shopping, I'd have to use a wheelchair.
Or did you ever want to drive one of those little special kids carts? Wouldn't those be fun?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Were you looking at kids and going, I want a piece of that? How do I get the spaceship? You weren't? Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I went from data entry to hairstyling in like a month, because I got called to the ATC because I had asked if I can be part of the hairstyling program, and they told me I was on a wait list, and they called me 3 days before the new term.
Oh, wow.
Gosh.
Wow, really?
So why did you choose hairstyling? Because I saw you in the program, and the reason you're on this podcast is I had a conversation with you, and I thought, you're one of the most interesting people I've ever talked to in the hairstyling program, but even in the building. So what attracted you to hairstyling of all things?
I had to deal with a lot of like hairstylists, and I had to deal a lot with makeup and stuff back when I was a performer, and I was always wondering like what was it like on the other side. And so that's kind of why I did the hairstyling. But with my path with university, I don't get a lot of creative leeway. So I was like, hairstyling's a really good idea.
I like it. And you also mentioned to me, we chatted prior to this, that it's also a way to get an extra skill that no one else has. and you have some aspirations to get some post-secondary education. It also was going to help with some financial considerations, right? Because while you're going to school, you can do some hair on the side, right? And
Oh,
you can do
absolutely.
and you can help with your training. Have you done that? Do you do people's hair on the side?
I do. I
Okay.
actually work at a salon.
Oh, right on. Where do you work?
I work at Fam's Beauty and Hair Studio at the moment,
Okay.
and that's on Key Waiton, very far from here.
Well, that's a long haul. So now, you actually have your own chair, or are you a casual, or what are you there?
I have my own chair.
Okay.
I'm there 3 days a week, but just because it's like super far, I'm probably gonna move.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's okay. That's awesome. You can do it in your basement too, I guess.
Oh
right?
yeah, absolutely.
Now, especially in COVID times, you have to be careful. But yeah, you built a skill for yourself that now you can use and leverage to help you go to school. So now you've gone to school. What was amazing about my conversation with you, we chatted last year while you were in the program, was you were talking about, yeah, I want to go to university. I want to be a lawyer. I said, what? You're in hairstyling and lawyer. You also, in that year though, didn't you start a little entrepreneurial venture?
Oh no, I had actually started that back in 2019. I do believe it was in October, November. So it's been 2 years now.
Yes.
But I started a small business with my sister.
And what's that all about? Tell us.
So we take old fabrics and we reuse them, we repurpose them so they get out of the landfills. So we thrift them or people give them to us. And we started off making scrunchies, but now we make beeswax wraps. And then when COVID hit, we started buying new fabrics and using their scraps for other things to make masks. And we were selling those out all the way out into Hawaii.
Oh,
Really?
wow.
Yeah.
So were you putting all kinds of crazy designs on them and stuff? You're making very cool masks?
We were making a lot of pattern masks, and we were buying fabrics from like local shops, and like we were getting some fabric out in Quebec. It was really cool.
So you learned a lot about, what did that experience teach you about life and about making your way and being an entrepreneur? Like, I like when you said I got it from Quebec. What do you figure out about life doing this?
It was a lot about the hustle.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely. There was never a moment when you're not working. So like when you're out talking with people, you have your business cards on you, you're giving them out, you're telling them about your business, and I still do that at work as well.
So you're still running the business?
We're currently on hiatus. I do believe in June, my sister and I decided to take a little bit of a break just because we were going through exams and there's a lot of things happening in our life at the time.
Was it super busy too? Are you getting lots of orders?
We were, and so we finished up those orders. We were telling people, hey, we've got to close for a little bit and reorganize ourselves. And we were planning to reopen, I do believe, in the new year.
Okay, well, that's cool. What's your website in case when you open up, people can jump on it?
We're on Etsy. We're called Stitch Sisters Winnipeg, and we're also on Instagram, so you can also find us Stitch Sisters Winnipeg.
Stitch Sisters Winnipeg on Instagram. How cool is that? Now, you guys, I'm looking at my two Gen Z producers here. I'm surrounded by Gen Z, so you're making me all feel youthful and vibrant. I appreciate that. When you hear of the things she's selling, make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, when I was still at Windsor Park, I was in JA, and that was one of the products.
That's
that was,
junior achievement.
Yeah, yeah. And Mr. Magnifico knows a lot about that, right?
Yes, I volunteered there for about 20 years.
Exactly. So that was actually one of the products that was pitched to us. It was the like the beeswax covers. I think it's something like you can cover instead
Yes.
of using like I want to say like that plastic wrap you would put over
Saran wrap.
Yeah, exactly. The saran wrap. You
Or-
would use these beeswax covers,
Yeah.
and they were reusable. and
Or
you could
wax
wash them
paper,
or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
So that was one of the products that was up for running for
Okay.
JA. So I know that it is a big thing.
So Zoe, do you go online and buy scrunchies and stuff like that?
I don't like scrunchies. They don't they don't
Zo-
work in my
That's
hair.
okay.
Don't
Wow.
work in my hair. Zoe,
don't.
by the way, are you looking at Zoe thinking, hairstyling, I wonder what I could do with that? Are you thinking that?
I do that to a lot of people. It's really funny. Like I'll be in the car and I'll be with like my siblings and be like, that person's hair is really nice.
That's pretty cool. So you're looking at my hair. What are you thinking right now?
you need to grow more.
Yeah, but the great moment was before Akira so delicately chimed in. She was looking at my hair going, oh no, I don't know. There's not a lot there.
What do I say?
I know, good. No,
it was-
I'm kidding, I'm
It's
kidding,
funny
don't worry.
because one of my classmates cut your hair for one of our exams.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was talking to her. You know what I loved about this whole program, and you guys in the hairstyling program, you learn how to talk to people.
Oh, we do.
I had
We
such
do.
a great conversation. That's part of the program, right? If you want to build a customer base, you have to become interested in the customer, right? And that's what you do. And I love the conversations. I love coming in the ATC, and I know they offer salon work and nail work and all kinds of massage work and those kinds of things. I love when you come in and have the conversations with you guys who are starting your careers. You're all excited about it. It's just so vibrant. I've had a couple of hair, it's not really a cut anymore. It's just a hair kind of look at it and what do we do with this session. And it's, I just always enjoy the conversations. It's always good stuff. So you're a bit of an entrepreneur, you're a singer, you're a performer. The performer is a big piece of the entrepreneur thing, right?
Oh, absolutely.
How so?
It's really got me into like talking to people. I'm actually a very introverted person, but because of performing.
You're introverted?
Yes.
You would say you're introverted. Okay. And that's possible, right? So do you have to really push to perform then?
No, because the person on stage is different from the person that you guys see in real life. And it's really hard to explain that to people because when I meet new people, I'm actually very, very shy. Or when I'm doing things like this is performer me.
Well, but that's cool. So I guess, so we'll never get to know the real you. Is that what you're saying?
Oh no, you've met me outside
I know,
of this.
I'm kidding. I'm
Absolutely.
Like, what's the purpose of this podcast then?
That's the purpose. Remember, and what we do in this podcast is we get to know the real you a bit, which is always fun. And we are getting to know you, and I know you a bit, and that's why I approached you on this podcast. So it's that's kind of cool. Now you live in, you're going to university now, right?
Oh, yeah.
And taking some courses. So what's your major there?
I'm planning my major in psychology with a focus in behavioral analysis.
Really?
Yes.
So why are you doing that? Why do you think that's useful?
So I wasn't really like, I was like, law isn't really my biggest concern. I wanted to be oh God, what was it called? I wanted to be a jury consultant, and that you need a master in psychology. So I'm
A jury consultant?
Yes.
I didn't even know that existed. Have you ever heard of that, you guys?
I haven't. What do they do?
have any of you watched Bull?
No.
Yes.
No.
I love that
No.
show.
Dr.
Okay.
Bull is a jury consultant, and he
That's the job.
yes, and he observes your jury pool, and he works with lawyers, and
Are they like I couldn't tell you because I haven't watched the show. Is that the type of person that would like watch the jury and like kind of observe what they're doing, or like
Yeah.
ask them like, what are you gonna do?
well, the lawyer does that, and so
Yeah.
I give the lawyer.
So you're a consultant to the lawyer
Yes.
about the jury
Yes.
and the
Kinda
kind of
interesting,
person you
actually.
need on this jury
That's cool.
Yeah.
and the kind of attitudes and cultures that they bring to this particular jury. You're one who would formulate those and create those and collaborate with lawyers on that.
Yes.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So what attracts you to that? Why not the lawyer? Why
Why
not be
not
the
a
big
lawyer?
fish?
Just because I'm not the biggest like arguer, I don't like being in the spotlight and arguing with people.
You think lawyers argue with people?
100% they do.
Oh,
Oh,
definitely.
100%. Thank you.
Have you seen Judge Judy?
Judge Judy.
She doesn't argue.
That's
She
right.
just yells at you.
Judge Judy.
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I watch Jimmy Kimmel. He does Judge Jimmy. I don't know if you do
Judge
that.
Jimmy, I
He's
know
got a
that.
crazy episode where he does Judge Jimmy. It's hilarious.
The thing about lawyers though, it's like they argue, but they're very smart about how they argue.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
it's a
Yeah.
method. There's a like I feel
Well-
like if you're gonna be a lawyer, you learn a way of arguing.
There's
Oh,
a method
absolutely.
to the madness, really.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a great line.
They're
And
smart
you know
people.
what? And you have to learn a whole language to be a lawyer. That's a great thing about a lawyer. If you do get into this profession and the cluster, that's a cluster. What I call the cluster of law would be a jury person. Like you're talking. What did you call him? A jury what?
A jury consultant.
A jury consultant.
Yeah.
That's part of the cluster of the law profession, which is pretty cool. But these guys have to learn a new language, and that's what makes them so valuable to their kind of their workplace, because no one can understand what they're talking about. Whenever you get a document from a lawyer, you need a lawyer to
You
read
need
your
a lawyer
document.
to read the
You need a
lawyer's
lawyer to read the
document.
lawyer's document. Like
Yeah.
it's an amazing profession that's created this world of we're the only ones that can do this. So you
Smart
better
people.
call us, right?
Yeah.
Which is all good.
Like another thing about the writing thing, like something that really brought me into law and stuff is that I'm also a writer.
Oh gosh. So what do you mean you're a writer?
I'm a
Explain.
published writer. I was
Where? Where do you
Wow.
publish?
I got published with oh boy, what is that program? oh my God, it's a competition in Canada for kids in high school. I don't remember what it's called at the moment. Polar Expressions.
Polar Expressions.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
good
was
for you.
published with Polar Expressions in 2019 with a short story. But I'm also being published on Vocal, and every view pays me. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Is it cool to be paid for your writing?
It is pretty cool, but it's also very nerve-wracking because, like, I have never really made it onto the trends of that website, and so I don't get a lot of views.
But that's okay. Like, you know what? You work that out if you keep at it. I write a little bit too, and write for articles and write for magazines, and I've written some short stories and such. It's a challenge. You got to love. Do you love writing?
Oh, I absolutely do, and I've been writing probably for about the past 6 years.
Okay. What do you love about it?
It really just gets your creative like side going, and you can talk about things that you feel like you can't talk about in real life.
That's right, eh?
Absolutely.
That's a great way to talk about it. Do you guys write? Are you writers or do you shun it?
I'm not a writer.
I hate writing. Like, yeah,
honest
this,
with you,
this is my Cracker Jack production team. I hate writing. I want nothing to do with it.
I'll be honest with you. I got lucked out with my English teacher in grade 12. He gave me the option of doing oral presentations instead of essays. So I did everything as in front of the class. If it was like he was like, okay, we're gonna read this book. You need to write an essay about it. I was like, I'll present about it.
Well, what if you need to write script for your broadcast media piece?
No, that's a different language actually. Like you were saying with lawyers, there's a language to writing scripts for
Yes,
broadcasting.
yes.
But I'm talking like I can't write a story. Can't do that. I hate writing.
I'm an okay writer. I just don't like doing it.
See, and I'm not even an okay writer.
Again, my Cracker Jack communication team here from the broadcast media program. And I'm saying these guys, I would never have guessed because you are good communicators and you are kind of smart about things, but you're going to have to write at some point. That's one of the things schools does for you. As much as people hate school, it teaches you to read and write.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Absolutely.
and do math. So
Yeah.
I would, and kids don't get into it sometime, but as I look back on life, soak it up. As much as you can, soak it up while you're not paying for it.
Yeah, pretty
That's
much.
I mean that sincerely, because once
That's
you
true.
leave, are you going to start paying for it, Angelica?
Oh, I am already paying for it. I was paying for it at the school. Oh
I
my
know.
God.
I know, because you came later, right?
I did. I came after high school, so I had to pay.
Yeah, so for me, you're in a broadcast media program. What are you paying for this?
We aren't paying anything because I'm not paying.
Well, there's
anything.
a registration fee I had to do, but like
I know,
I was
20
like,
bucks.
yeah, it's not much.
Yeah,
Oh,
so that's why when I say to high school students, if you're interested in this now, you can go to the broadcast media. Would you have done this in high school? Or no, you were kind of focused on the music gig?
I actually did filmmaking when I was in high school, and I actually did come here for a little bit for
Good.
For a little bit of a culture share of what we do, and we did a little bit of a competition of like 4 different schools, and we all came here.
Yeah, you would have been brilliant in this program, Angelica. I really think, because there is a combination of communication, performance, and all those kinds of pieces as
Yeah.
well. But it would have taken away from the other cool things you were doing. And you have to make calls, right? You have to make some decisions to move forward. But you guys are getting an education for nothing here that is going to be highly valued outside. I shouldn't say nothing. Your parents are paying taxes. We're all paying taxes for you to be here, okay?
I mean, the amount of times, like it comes up all the time. Like I brought it up yesterday when I was at Windsor Park. A teacher approached me and asked me like, "Where are you guys from?" And I'm like, "Oh, we're from ATC." And they're like, "So what is that?" I'm like, well, "It's actually a program that if you're an LRSD student, or like Zoe's case, yeah, you're a student, you can
Zoe, where are you from? Give it to us.
I'm from St. Anne, Pointe-des-Chênes.
Pointe-des-Chênes.
So you have to pay for something?
What do you mean?
Like to get into the class, did you have to pay something?
Small registration fee. My school division pays for the rest.
That's right.
Okay,
If
yeah.
you're outside, you got to pay for it. But if you're from a division and you're still a high school student,
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
it's free. It's kind of free for
I
you.
explained that to them, and
Beyond
they're-
taxes, I'm a paying tax. You guys
Yeah.
don't pay a lot of taxes. You're paying taxes.
I'm paying taxes.
You guys aren't paying taxes yet, so we're still paying for you. But I want to say,
I'm
on
paying
behalf of all the
taxes. I'm 18.
taxpayers, I'm happy to educate you.
Oh yeah.
You're
But,
welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome, both of you.
Thank you, Mr. Ragnar.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Hey, you're paying it too.
I am paying
yeah,
it
you
too.
should be thanking Angelica too. She's actually.
But no,
she-
for
out
like
there with
for real, I was explaining to them, I was like, not enough people know like once you leave, like this is free, right? Right, it's basically
Well,
free.
yeah, basically.
Basically free, yeah.
And once you leave, you can work in the program, like the industry, like the field that you took,
Yeah, like go right
Immediately.
away.
like immediately,
Immediately.
straight out
Yeah.
of it. And not enough people know that, so they'll go to university, do the 5-year programs or whatever 5-year courses. They'll pay for it, just to do what we're doing right out of this program.
Yeah, but-
Yeah.
And that's very true. Yeah.
And that's very true. But Angelica, you're doing that. So what's the great value for you going to university? Tell us about that. Because there is. Like you guys are, what you said is important, but there's also great value in taking more education
True.
and building up that part of you. Why are you doing that, Angelica?
That's a good question.
Dang, I don't know.
Okay. Well, Angelica today just dropped out of the University of Manitoba. It's a bit of a shame. We saw such potential. Anyway, no, why are you doing that?
It's for the deeper education, and I really
Yes.
love learning, and so going to university was one of my biggest things, and so I can continue learning. Like my original major was going to be English, and then I switched it up this year, like probably a month before I started.
Hey, I love what you said. It is about a deeper education. That was the
Yeah.
word. And you love learning, and that's why we go to these schools. I suspect you too, as much as you think you're hitting the ground running, you'll never take more school again. You will.
I'll probably end up going to college.
And because you'll start connecting to a network out there that says, hey, we really like you. Here's the level you're working at. You want to move to this level. Here's the extra education take. And you'll take it. You may take it while you're working and stuff, right? But I love that you're hitting the ground running. I love that you've hit the ground running because you're already doing stuff and you're entrepreneurial and you're going to get your website ignited again with some of your cool products, and you can do some hairstyling, and you've got a chair out in Keewatin that you're doing work. You're a multifaceted person. Would you say the ATC experience has been really important to you?
Oh, absolutely. And they give you a lot of opportunities to do a lot of things. And so, like, when I was in the hairstyling program, it wasn't just hair. We were learning about skin. We were learning about nails. We were learning about a lot of things. And that also opens the door out for a lot of people who doesn't go to university or people who stay in the hairstyling program and just go into cosmetology
Yes.
as well. And so things like that are super cool.
Yes, absolutely. So tell us, you know what, you said something that's really cool. I said, why don't we hook this up from your house? Do you remember we talked about that? We'll just hook you up with your cell phone and we can do this at your house. She goes, no, I have to come in. I said, well, why do you have to come in? Because my house is a little noisy. Well, why is it so noisy? Tell us about your cool house. And I just feel I almost feel proud of you and your family for doing all this work. Talk about that a bit, what your house is like.
My household, we have 9 people living in our house and 2 dogs.
Oh, wow.
That's too much.
Do the dogs bark?
Oh, yeah. They like fighting a lot.
I got a couple dogs as well. And yeah, if they hear a noise,
You just go off.
you know, the toilet's running. They're wondering what's going on.
What's going on? What is that?
What is that? And they're sniffing around. Anyway, talk about the environment of your house. I thought it was so amazing.
So 5 of us are adults, and that's my blood family, and then 4 of them are fosters, and so we have kids that are ranging from 9 months to 7 years in there.
That's amazing. So why do you do that work? Why does your family do that kind of work? That's amazing. 4 fosters in your house.
4 fosters. We started this back in 2017, I do believe, and my parents, when I got into high school, were the house was quiet. We recently had bought a new house, and it was a really big one, and it was too quiet for them because all 3 of us were out studying or in our rooms studying or something like that. And so they were like, I want some noise in the house. And so we got some fosters.
So when you said we have to do this in another room or we have to do this in another building, it's that loud?
It's that loud. Actually, when I received the text, I woke up to one of our kids having a tantrum.
Okay. Oh, this morning?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. That's really cool. So now, how do you feel in this house that's so crowded? And you've taken these people in, so you're really, for me, you're changing the lives of these kids in the best and most positive way. So I just find that so powerful. How do you feel about it? Because you're in the midst of this chaos sometime, right?
Oh, absolutely.
But do you see the bigger picture, or sometimes you're going, what are these guys doing here?
I've had kids ranging from we've had them at most at the moment for 3 years, and then at least for 3 months.
Yes.
And so the longer I have them, the more influence I get to have with them. As I'm less of a foster sister now, just because I'm much older than them. So I'm more like a foster mom, and there's
Yes.
and so I get to be this parental type of figure to them, where they didn't have any for a period of time in their life.
So that's important. So you're being a role model to these folks, right?
Yeah.
how do you feel being a role model at such a young age so quickly?
The thing is, I've always been a role model for like my younger peers. I have been a role model for my cousins, and so it hasn't really been too much of a change. But the biggest change that I had to go through was being a parent at like 16.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Was it hard? Did it challenge you? And did you go, oh gosh, why?
I'm still going like that sometimes, and I feel like a lot of parents go through that.
Of course, especially in COVID time.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Hey, good for you. Very proud of that work you're doing. And the kinds of things you're thinking about in your life and moving forward with, are you still thinking, if that law doesn't work out, are you thinking something else, or do you have any else in your back pocket you might be thinking about? Backup plan?
My backup plan was hairstyling, but
Okay.
if I do continue university, my parents and a lot of people who around me were thinking that I should go into teaching.
Oh gosh, yeah, you would. You've got a beautiful disposition about yourself.
Yeah, and they were thinking about me being an English teacher, and that's not a bad idea, and I honestly probably would go into that.
Well, and that's cool. If you know what, if you like to write, and I'm a big fan. I teach. I'm an ELA teacher as well. If you like to write, then of course these other guys are they're shaking their head.
They're
writing.
shaking their heads, and they're like laughing over there.
Both these guys are going, oh my gosh, where can I find the Skittles or something?
Bless
Anyway.
your soul, Mr. Payne, if you're listening to this. Thank you for letting me do all of
Okay,
this.
you're welcome. Anyway, that might be another opportunity for you. But it sounds like you're on a path. Like you've done a lot of things already as a young person. You've already done a lot of things. You've tried a lot of things. You've experimented. You're iterating. You prototype your life, kind of. That's why I like to talk about it, and that's really neat. You continue to discover things about yourself. I see nothing but cool things for you down the road, because of all your experiences, all the dots you're collecting in your life, and as you connect them down the road, boy, you're just going to become some kind of leader somewhere, because you have this sense of leadership about you. So you have some great options. I'd love you to be honestly, a jury consultant. Bull. You can
Yeah.
be the Bullette. I don't know. If you guys never watch Bull, you got to watch it. It's a great show.
Oh, absolutely. It's a wonderful show.
So, good fun. Anyway, you know what, Angelica, we do something in this podcast called the Whip It Round. And I'll be honest, we did it the last couple of times. It's been lame. It's been absolutely lame. I'm sorry, you guys. So we need a new energy to it. So I'm going to turn it over to Zoe. Here's what we do. We're going to ask you quick questions. You have to answer quickly. Like, don't think about them. What comes to your head? And they're simple things. You'll see that it's an either or it's something that comes to your head quickly. So, I mean, don't labor on this. It's just an extra way for us to get to know some of your idiosyncrasies or some of your preferences and that kind of thing. So are you ready, you two?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to
Yeah.
turn this into the best one we've ever done, right?
We're going to try.
Here we go. Here we go. So
all about trying. Let's
I'll
do
turn it
this.
over to Zoe. Is that okay?
Yeah.
You're going to start it off?
Yeah.
Okay, here's the Whip It Round.
All right, so yeah, it's called the Whip It Round. We're going to ask you a series of questions, and you have to answer as fast as you can. So I'll read the first few questions, and then Akira will take the other half.
Yes, I will.
You know?
All right, let's go.
All right, what's your favorite music genre?
Oh, oh God. I don't have one.
What's your ringtone?
The default on iPhones.
Boring.
What's your favorite podcast?
I'm currently I was actually listening to one on the way here. I was listening to Escaping Denver.
We'll replace
What?
that with Adventures in Careerland. Okay, go.
What? Adventures in Careerland.
We'll
Sorry, I
we'll
had to
edit that
interrupt.
in.
Keep
We'll
going,
edit that
keep
in.
going.
Adventures in Careerland.
What's,
Edit it.
what's your favorite app?
Instagram?
Okay. And do you prefer Lego or coloring books?
Lego.
Is your desk messy or clean?
Messy.
What's your dream vacation?
Japan.
Do you prefer summer or winter?
Winter.
What's your favorite music artist?
Hosier?
Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars, all the way.
And you just got whopped.
You got whooped. That was it. A little better energy. What'd you think of that?
That was fun.
She's fun. Her eyes are,
We
she's,
got editing Careerland there. We just got
yeah.
Edit
It's-
it on top of it.
Okay, just say
So-
Careerland right now.
Yeah.
so what's your favorite podcast?
Adventures in Career. You gotta say it.
You got to say it. And because if you say that, there might be a T-shirt that I'm holding up, or if it is indeed your favorite, an actual sweatshirt.
Oh my God, it's a crew neck. I love crew necks.
Crew neck. See, she loves a crew neck. I'm trying to get these guys to wear crew necks.
Podcast?
Adventures in Careerland.
Oh, well done, well
Look at
done.
that.
So we present to you the Adventures in Careerland podcast. It is a medium. I hope that fits. Is it?
Oh,
think
I
okay?
always wear baggy clothes, except for today, apparently.
I can
Oh,
get
me
you.
too, you know
I can
what?
get you a large if you want before you go. It's up to you. Okay.
Yeah, I would
I'll do
totally
that.
take a large.
So don't leave until I get back to you. You can take if you want. If you don't want the sweatshirt, there's a large T-shirt, whichever one you like.
I'll take the sweatshirt. They're
Okay.
warmer.
All right, I'll get it for you. Hey, Angelica, thank you for doing this with us today. And I'm glad we got you out of bed. I thought for sure.
Barely.
I love that your foster kids kind of helped you get out of bed too. So we owe them a great debt of gratitude
Great
for
debt,
that.
yep.
Yes, so that was awesome. You're a very interesting person, and you've done a lot of things that are shaping you and developing your sensibility and where you fit in this world. We just think you've done some amazing things, and I hope you continue to develop your special skills. You guys have anything? Look at these guys. They're half
Just
asleep.
like goldfish
Yeah.
over there.
No, you know what? I'm really trying to think like, wow, I wouldn't have passed DLA. I'm sitting here like, dang.
It's very funny when you say that because I actually took a university ELA class when I was in high school.
Hate it.
Oh, was that AP,
Wow.
advanced placement?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I used to teach advanced
If
placement.
there
That
was
cool.
like a essential to ELA, I would have taken like the essential of essentials for ELA.
So, congratulations, Angelica. You brought great trauma to
You know
to
what? I'm
Akira,
sitting
reminding
here-
him of his futility in ELA.
There's a
that-
thing that says crystal over there, and I'm sitting there reading it, and I'm like, man,
I know that student.
I'm
Okay,
like, I suck at
Crystal.
ELA.
Okay. Anyway, that's good. Well, what are you implying? You can't read that, or I don't understand.
You know what? Something about it looks wrong.
He's looking at something on the wall, by the way. Okay, that's where
I'm staring at the wall. I'm
this
like, is
guy
that written
wandered.
wrong?
This guy's mind wanders. That's awesome. Anyway, hey,
God.
thank you, Angelica. That was great. I thank the producers. And hey, in this COVID time, everybody be safe. Take care of yourself. And that's our episode for today of Adventures in Careerland. Take care, everybody.